In order to work on that project and work on the code, you also need some code editor. And of course, here you can use any editor or IDE you want. If you don't have a clear preference, my recommendation would be Visual Studio Code because it's a free and highly extensible IDE that works on all operating systems. Once you did download and install it, you can use it to open that Angular project folder you created with the ng-new command, and you should then see something like this. The exact number of files and folders you have here on the left can change over time, and we'll explore in detail what all these files and folders are about at the beginning of the next section. But as you can see, this ng-new command created quite a few subfolders and configuration files because we need those extra compilation steps I mentioned before and so on. Now, before we start diving into the code, or before we try running this code and testing it locally, there's one thing you should do here if you're using Visual Studio Code. You should go to the extensions area of this code editor, and then there search for Angular. And you should at least install this Angular language service extension here, because that will give you better IDE support for Angular. It will help with finding errors in your Angular code. It will give you code completions. But you also might want to consider installing some other Angular extensions, for example, the Angular Essentials extension, which in the end bundles a couple of useful Angular extensions. And with those extensions added, you're then well prepared to write Angular code, and you can go back to that Explorer view. Now, as mentioned, we'll explore the files and folders we got here, and we'll start writing some useful code in the next course section. But one thing I want to do right now already is run this project and preview it locally, because that's something we'll do all the time whilst writing code. Therefore, you can and should open the integrated terminal here in Visual Studio Code by going to Terminal, New Terminal, which uses your default system terminal or command prompt, just integrated here into this code editor and automatically navigated into this folder, which is very useful, because you need to be navigated into that folder to run this project and to preview it. And you start. This executes a script that's part of this project that spins up a development server, which allows you to preview the website by visiting this address here in your browser. And if you do visit that website, that address, you should see something like this on the screen. The exact content and look can change over time. That's just the automatically generated starting app and will work on different projects throughout the course anyways, so it doesn't matter too much what you see here, but you should see something. And that proves that you were able to run that Angular app and that everything was created correctly. Now, whilst you're working on your code, you should keep that development server up and running. You can hide that terminal, but you shouldn't quit it. You shouldn't stop that process, because as long as this process here is running, it will automatically watch for changes in your code. And whenever you save changes, it'll automatically reload this website and preview those changes, which speeds up the development process. If you're done for the day, you can quit this server by either closing it by clicking this cross or by pressing Ctrl+C. You can then always restart it by rerunning npm start. That's how you create an Angular project and how you prepare everything to work on that code. And that's therefore exactly what we'll do in the next section. We'll dive into a new project, we'll start working on our first demo application, and most importantly, we'll get started with all those crucial Angular essentials you need to know.